You ever wonder why the war in Ukraine is still going on, even when it seems like peace proposals pop up? Well, today, we're going to dig into a source that makes a pretty provocative claim that the real reason is a hidden struggle, a deliberate plot, really, to block any and all peace deals from ever succeeding. Let's unpack the argument this source is making. So, it all kind of starts with this quote from former President Trump. He claimed that Ukrainian negotiators, the people in the room, actually liked a peace proposal he put forward. And that right there, that sets up a central mystery for us to explore. And that leads us right to the big question, doesn't it? If the people closest to the deal, the ones doing the negotiating, were on board, then why did it get shot down? What happened behind the scenes that we didn't see? All right, and this is where it gets really interesting. The source we're looking at argues that this wasn't just a simple no thanks from Ukraine. The claim is that they were following a pre-written script, one supposedly drafted by British geopolitical strategists. Now, that is a huge claim, so let's see what evidence the source actually uses to back it up. The first piece of this puzzle centers on what the source calls a very clear and very repeating pattern. It's all about the timing of a few key events. So take a look at this timeline. In 2022, a peace deal is reportedly right there, almost done. Then, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson makes a visit to Kyiv, and suddenly the deal is dead. Now fast forward to this week. Trump tables a new plan. And what happens next according to this timeline? Britain's Keir Starmer visits Kyiv, and just like before, the plan gets rejected. And here's the kicker, right? The source is basically saying this is not a coincidence. This isn't just bad luck or weird timing. It argues this sequence, a British leader shows up, a peace plan vanishes, is a deliberate, repeating pattern of interference. But the claim is that the proof goes even deeper than just this timeline. This brings us to what the source presents as its crown jewel, its core evidence. The argument moves from a timeline of events to official government documents, which it says lay out two totally opposite visions for the world. The whole thing centers on two key documents, a new national security strategy from the Trump camp and another one from the United Kingdom. And get this, they were released just a few weeks apart from each other. The source says if you put them side by side, everything starts to click into place. Okay, so let's actually look at this comparison, because this is fascinating. On one side, you have Trump's strategy. The source highlights that its stated goal is just to end the war, and it's described as a reassertion of American principles. But then you look at the UK strategy. The source frames this as something totally different, part of a 120-year-old policy that has always had Russia in its crosshairs, and it points to some very, very specific wording. The source really latches on to this one phrase from the UK document, presented to Parliament at the Command of His Majesty. Now, you might just think, okay, that's some old-fashioned ceremonial language. But the source argues, no. This is a constitutional term, and it means that the policy isn't just from the government of the day, it comes directly from the crown itself. So if you have these two massive opposing worldviews clashing head-on, what's the fallout? Well, this final section of the source's argument looks at the global reactions and what it calls a brand new geopolitical fault line. According to the source, the reactions were immediate, and they were stark. Russia reportedly welcomed Trump's strategy. European elites, on the other hand, they freaked out. And the big conclusion this slide illustrates is that this puts the US and the UK, for the first time, officially on opposite sides of the fence on this issue. When you put it all together, the source is trying to make this one final massive point. This whole thing, it argues, isn't really just about Ukraine. It's about something way, way bigger, a fundamental clash between two powerful allies over the future of the entire world order. So, we've just unpacked a source that alleges a hidden conflict is actively shaping our world and preventing peace. It presents this trail of timed visits, competing documents, and clashing worldviews. And it leaves us all with a pretty powerful question, doesn't it? If there really is a script, who's the one writing it?